Part 1. My English was very bad. My name is Ethan Miller. I'm 24 years old, and I come from a small town near Cape Town in South Africa. Today, I want to tell you a story that changed my life. It didn't just make me feel better. It changed how I speak, how I think, and how I see myself. If you are afraid to speak English, please listen. This story might help you more than you think. I am not famous. I am not rich. But I did something simple that changed everything. I became fluent in English. I didn't go to a language school. I didn't spend a lot of money. I didn't memorize grammar rules or read boring books. I just opened my laptop and typed one sentence. Now I can speak in interviews. I can make videos, write emails, and send messages in English. And I want to help you do the same. Step by step, no pressure. If you ever said, "My English is not good," or "I understand," but I can't reply, this story is for you. I used to say the same things. 3 years ago, my English was really bad. I was 21 years old and afraid to speak. Part 2. I felt afraid to speak. When someone asked me, "What's your name?" I didn't know what to say. My heart would beat fast, and my mind went blank. Even if I answered, my grammar was wrong. My pronunciation was bad, and my sentences didn't make sense. One day, a tourist asked me for directions. I tried to help, but I couldn't say a full sentence. She smiled and said thank you, then walked away. I felt so small and stupid. That day, I went home and didn't eat dinner. I lay on my bed and stared at the ceiling. I kept asking myself, why can't I speak English? I felt like a failure. In my hometown, people spoke Afrikaans or Xhosa. English was not used much in daily life. At home with friends or in shops, we didn't use English. Even at school, the teacher spoke English, but I didn't understand most of it. I was too shy to ask questions, so I just smiled and stayed quiet. Then I saw people on social media speaking English. They talked fast and with confidence. Part 3. I wanted to give up. On Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, I saw people speak English clearly. They made videos, told stories, and shared ideas. I thought, they are smart. I am not. Maybe English is not for me. Maybe I should just stop trying. I used some apps to learn English, but they only said things like, "the boy eats the apple." It felt like a game for children. I didn't feel like I was learning real English. I also tried watching English movies, but the people spoke too fast. I could only understand one word out of 10. My brain was tired and I got frustrated. I also tried writing in English, but I didn't know how to start. My head was full of my first language. English didn't come naturally, so I gave up. For 6 months, I stopped learning English completely. Then one day, my friend Leo from Nigeria told me something. He said there is an AI called ChatGPT. It can help you learn anything. Part 4. My first time using ChatGPT. At first, I laughed. I said, "Come on, I need a real teacher, not a robot." But Leo smiled and said, "Just try. Say hello to it and see what happens." That night, I opened ChatGPT. I typed one word, "hello." It replied in 1 second. It said, "Hello. How can I help you today?" I wrote, "My English is bad. Can you help me?" The answer surprised me. It didn't laugh or tell me to study grammar. It said, Of course, I'd love to help. Let's start small. Then it asked, can you tell me how your day was? In English. I was shocked. No teacher had ever asked me that before. No app ever felt that kind. I typed slowly. Today I go to market and I eat sandwich. I knew it was wrong. But ChatGPT replied, great try. Here's a small correction. Today, I went to the market and ate a sandwich. It corrected me gently, and it made me feel good. Part 5. A new way to learn. ChatGPT didn't just correct my sentence. It also said, you're doing well. Let's keep going. Something changed in my mind. I thought, this is how I can learn. Not from boring books. Not from fear or shame. I can learn through kind conversation. I felt excited for the first time. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about the chat. For the first time, I didn't feel judged. I felt safe speaking English. The next morning, I woke up early. I didn't check my phone or watch funny videos. I opened my laptop and went back to ChatGPT. I typed, good morning. Can we talk again today? It replied quickly. Of course, I'm happy to see you again. How are you feeling today? That one sentence made me smile. I felt like I had a friend who listened, so I started writing about my day again. I typed slowly and carefully. Part 6. Step by step, I got better. I wrote, today I wake up at 7. I brushing my teeth and eat bread and milk. Then I added, I clean room. I knew I made mistakes, but I didn't stop. ChatGPT answered kindly, you're improving. Here's the correct version. Today I woke up at 7. I brushed my teeth and ate bread and milk. Then I cleaned my room. It didn't make me feel bad. It helped me feel proud. I felt like a heavy weight was gone. I didn't feel ashamed anymore. That day, I wanted to write more. I told ChatGPT what I ate and what I watched on TV. I wrote about my favorite movie. I asked, is this sentence correct after each line? It always answered with patience. It never said I was wrong in a bad way. 1 week later, something big happened. I needed to send a message for a job. Part 7. A message that changed everything. I had to send a message in English. It was for a job opportunity online. I wrote the message by myself first, but it didn't sound good. I was nervous. My hands were shaking, so I opened ChatGPT. I typed, can you help me write a professional message for a job? It replied, sure, please tell me what you want to say. I typed my ideas in broken English. ChatGPT turned my message into something clear and polite. It still sounded like me, but better. I copied the message and sent it. Then I closed my laptop and went to the kitchen. I stood quietly and looked at the floor. Then I smiled. I had done something big. I had written a real message in English. I didn't need a teacher. I didn't feel stupid anymore. That night, I sat outside and looked at the moon. I whispered, I think I'm going to be okay. Part 8. A new habit begins. The next morning, I felt different. This was not just studying anymore. It was part of my life. I didn't make a study plan. I just opened ChatGPT and started talking. I told it how I felt. I shared my dreams and my fears. Every time ChatGPT helped me say my thoughts in English, it made my ideas clearer. One day I asked it, how do I speak English with confidence? I expected grammar tips, But ChatGPT said, confidence doesn't mean being perfect. It means being okay with making mistakes. That answer made me cry. Not because I was sad, but because I understood something deep. For years, I thought I was too late to learn. I thought I was not smart enough. But now, I was learning. Slowly, but with hope. Every day, I wrote to ChatGPT. I asked it to explain things, like in verses on or have been. It always answered kindly. I never felt judged or stupid. Part 9. My safe place to learn. ChatGPT was always there for me. Morning or night, it never said I'm busy. It never said, you're too slow. It just listened and helped. I started to feel stronger. Not perfect, but stronger than before. It was like learning to walk. I made many mistakes, but I didn't stop. One evening, my cousin came to visit. He had lived in London and spoke fluent English. We were sitting in the living room. He asked me, Ethan, what are you doing these days? Before I would have stayed silent, but this time I spoke in English. I said, I've been learning English every day with ChatGPT. He looked surprised. He said, really? What's that? I explained. It's a chat robot. I talk to it and it helps me. Then he said, say something in English. Let's hear it. I felt nervous, but I didn't run away. Part 10. I found my voice. My mother, my uncle, and 2 neighbors were sitting in the room. Everyone was quiet and looking at me. I took a deep breath. Then I spoke slowly and clearly. I said, before this year, I couldn't even answer a question. Now, I can explain my feelings because I practice with ChatGPT every day. I added, it's not about being perfect. It's about trying every day. The room was silent for a few seconds. Then my cousin smiled and said, that was good, Ethan. Really good. My mother started to clap. I didn't cry in front of them. But later, when I looked in the mirror, my eyes were red. This time, it was not from shame, it was from pride. For the first time, I spoke English in front of people. And I didn't freeze or feel small. That night, I made a promise. I would start using English in real life. Part 11. Using English in real life. The next morning, I typed to ChatGPT, I want to use English in real life, but I feel nervous. It replied with something I'll never forget. It said, start small. Say one English word at the grocery store. Say one sentence to yourself in English. It also said, real life is not a test. You are not performing, you are learning. So I followed that advice. At the bakery, I said, 2 bread loaves, please. The man looked surprised, then smiled. At the phone store, I asked, how much is this charger? He answered in English, too. Each time I spoke, I felt a little less afraid. My heart beat slower. My fear became smaller. Then something special happened. I walked past a small bookstore. Outside, there was a table with used books. One book was called Simple English Stories for Beginners. I opened it and read the first line out loud. John is a baker. He makes bread every day. Part 12. A New World Through Stories. When I read that first sentence, I understood it. I didn't need a translation. I didn't need help. I understood it directly in English. Something inside me changed in that moment. I felt proud and excited. I went into the bookstore and asked the owner, do you have more books like this? He smiled and said, Yes, upstairs. That evening, I went home with 3 storybooks. My heart was full of hope, but I didn't stop using ChatGPT. In fact, I used it even more. When I didn't understand a sentence, I typed it into ChatGPT. I asked, "What does this mean in simple English?" ChatGPT explained each sentence clearly. It used kind words and short examples. Sometimes I typed, "Here is what I think it means. Am I right?" It replied, "Almost perfect." Here's a small improvement. It felt better than any teacher I ever had because it didn't just teach, it made me believe in myself. Part 13. Writing my own stories. One day, I wrote a short story in English. It was about a boy who wanted to fly. I asked ChatGPT, "Can you check this for grammar?" It replied, "This is beautiful. Your story has feeling." It corrected my mistakes kindly. Then it said, "Keep writing. Your sentences are getting stronger." That message gave me energy. It felt like my heart had wings. I started writing short diary entries every night, just 4 or 5 lines about my day. Sometimes the day was good. Sometimes it was hard. But every time I shared it with ChatGPT, and every time it replied with support, English became more than just a language. It became my safe space. It became a way to heal. It became a mirror to my feelings. When I couldn't explain my pain in my first language, I wrote it in English. When I was afraid to say my dreams out loud, I typed them in English. ChatGPT always listened. It always replied with care. Part 14. More than just English. One night I typed, "I feel like I'm not enough. My English is better now, but I still feel small." ChatGPT replied, "You are more than enough. You are not behind, you are growing." Those words were not just English lessons, they were life lessons. That's when I understood something. I was not just learning a language, I was becoming a new version of myself, a stronger and more confident version. But I still had one big fear. I was afraid to speak out loud. Writing felt safe. Typing was easy. But using my voice was hard. Every time I tried, my throat closed. I had the words in my head, but my mouth stayed quiet. One evening, I told ChatGPT, "I can write, but I can't speak. I'm scared of my voice." It replied, "Speaking is like music. At first, your voice may shake, but the more you speak, the stronger it becomes." Part 15. Finding my voice. The next morning, I opened the voice recorder on my phone. I sat alone in my room and said, "Today is a good day." Then I listened to my own voice. It sounded strange, and I laughed a little, but I didn't delete it. I saved the recording. Then I said a second sentence, "I want to speak English fluently." My voice was shaking, but I spoke every word. That night, I told ChatGPT, "I want to practice speaking. Can you help me?" It replied, "Let's do a speaking simulation. I'll ask you questions, and you say your answers out loud. Then you can type them, and I will check if they are correct." That idea felt perfect for me. So every day, I spoke out loud to answer questions. What did you eat today? How do you feel when you're sad? At first, I felt shy, but little by little, I got better. Part 16. Speaking every day. By the second week, my voice was clearer. By the third week, I started to enjoy speaking. I recorded some answers and listened to them. Other times, I just talked to the wall. When I cooked or cleaned, I spoke to myself in English. I am making boiled eggs for breakfast. I stood near the window and whispered, "The weather is nice today. Maybe I'll go for a walk." This became my new habit. I didn't wait for someone to talk to. I became my own speaking partner, and ChatGPT helped me fix my mistakes. I would type, I said, "I am making boiled eggs. Is that correct?" It replied, "Yes, you are using the present continuous tense correctly." Then I asked, "Can I say, I'll be having eggs tomorrow?" It said, "Yes, that's future continuous. Well done." Every answer from ChatGPT made me more confident. It felt like building a strong wall, one brick at a time. Part 17. The Big Test. Speaking with real people. One day, I saw a poster online. It was for a free English conversation group in my city. Only 10 people, 1 hour in a small cafe. I stared at the poster for 10 minutes. Then I closed my laptop. I was too scared. But deep inside, something whispered, "You've come this far. Ethan, what's one more step?" So I typed to ChatGPT, "I want to go, but I'm nervous. What should I say there?" It replied, "Let's practice together. I'll ask you common questions, and you can answer." We practiced for 3 days. I answered, "Where are you from? Why are you learning English? And what are your hobbies?" Each time, ChatGPT helped me fix and improve my answers. Slowly, my fear became smaller than my desire. On the day of the event, I was nervous, but I stood at the cafe door and walked in. Part 18. I spoke with confidence. 10 people sat around a small table. Everyone looked a little nervous, just like me. When it was my turn, I took a deep breath. I said, "Hi, my name is Ethan. I started learning English 3 months ago with ChatGPT." Then I added, "I practice every day. Today, I'm speaking with you for the first time." The room went quiet for a moment. Then one girl smiled and said, "That's amazing. You speak so clearly." I smiled too, not because of the compliment, but because she understood me. That was all I wanted, to be understood. We talked about movies, food, and dreams. I made a few mistakes, but no one laughed. We were all learning together. We supported each other. After 1 hour, I walked out of the cafe. The sky was still blue, and the world looked the same, but I had changed. That night, I messaged ChatGPT, "I did it." It replied, "I'm proud of you. This is just the beginning." Part 19. A New Identity. That day, I stopped calling myself a student. I started calling myself a speaker. The next week, I saw a job post online. It was for a small company that makes children's books. The job needed someone with good English. 1 year ago, I would have ignored it, but now I wanted to try. I wrote my email, then asked ChatGPT, "Can you check if this is professional?" It fixed a few small things and said, "This is clear and confident. Go ahead and send it." 2 days later, I got a reply. "Interview tomorrow." I was nervous again, but I had something new practice and beliefs. That night, I typed, "Can we prepare for the interview?" ChatGPT asked me all the usual questions. I answered again and again until I felt ready. Then I went to bed with hope in my heart. The next day, I put on my best shirt. I walked into the office with calm steps. Part 20. The door that opened. Two people sat across the table. They asked me questions just like ChatGPT did. Tell us about yourself. Why do you want this job? What are your strengths? I answered with simple, clear English. I wasn't perfect, but I was confident. When the interview ended, I said, "Thank you," and walked out. I didn't know if I got the job, but I felt proud. 2 days later, I got an email. "Welcome to the team." It was my first real job in English. The pay was $100 a month. It wasn't a big amount to some people, but to me, it was a dream. A boy who once couldn't answer, "What's your name?" was now working in English. All because I didn't give up. English is not just a language. It is a key that opens jobs, friendships, dreams. And for me, it all started with one sentence. Hello. Part 21. How you can do it too. If you feel like English is too hard, I want you to know. You can do it. You don't need perfect grammar to begin. You don't need to speak fast. You only need to take the first step. Here are 5 simple ways to use ChatGPT to become fluent in English. 1. ChatGPT as your speaking coach. Ask it to talk with you like a real person. Read the questions out loud. Speak your answers, then type them for correction. 2. ChatGPT as your confidence mirror. When you are not sure about a sentence, copy and paste it into ChatGPT. It will fix it and explain why. 3. ChatGPT for daily practice. Ask it to create a 30-minute learning plan that fits your level. Use it every day to stay consistent. 4. Translate your thoughts into English. Write what you think in your language. Then ask ChatGPT, how can I say this in English? 5. Talk about real life. Don't just study grammar, use English to talk about your day, your feelings, and your dreams.